They said every school has its secret, but at Ridgeway High the secret didn't hide in the walls. It sat quietly in the back of Mrs. Davis's classroom, wearing headphones and a calm face, pretending not to hear the whispers. Maya Lewis was that secret. 17, soft-spoken, eyes that carried both exhaustion and depth, the kind that had seen more than her classmates ever would. She'd transferred mid-year, 6 months after her grandmother passed away. New school, new faces, and 12 black students out of nearly 900. To everyone else, she was invisible. To Ethan Cole, she was a target. Ethan had everything handed to him: quarterback, wealthy parents, teachers who laughed at his jokes. He was used to getting away with everything, and Maya, she was used to surviving quietly. That morning started like any other. Maya sat near the window, her backpack neatly zipped, her notebook open, her earbuds in. She was studying physics, trying to drown out the chatter. Her grandmother used to say, "Discipline isn't about silence. It's about control." Maya lived by that. But then Ethan walked in, flanked by his two shadows, Liam and Trent, grinning like someone about to play a cruel joke. Phones were already out before he even said a word. "Hey," he said, leaning on her desk. "Honest question, do people like you wash your hair?" A few laughs. A few gasps. Maya didn't look up. "Excuse me?" "I'm serious," he said louder. "I sit 2 rows up and I swear it smells like a wet towel." Laughter again, awkward, uneasy. Maya's jaw tightened. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She breathed. 4 counts in, 4 counts out, just like her grandmother had taught her. "Please move." "I'm studying, see?" Ethan said. "I ask one thing and she gets defensive." "You people are so dramatic." Maya looked up, her voice calm but sharp. "Maybe because your question was rude," the crowd murmured. Ethan smirked. "It's called being educated." His friend chuckled behind him, egging him on. "Bet she cries in 5 seconds." "I don't cry," Maya said softly. "Yeah," Ethan sneered. "That's weird. Normal people show feelings." Then he reached forward, fingers curling into her braid. "Let go," she said. But he didn't. He tugged it, lifted it like it was a prop. "Wow, this thing's heavy. What do you even use to wash it? Engine oil?" Her heart pounded. Her breath stayed steady. She didn't move. He laughed louder, pulling a pair of scissors from his bag. Nobody knew where they came from, but everyone froze when they saw them glint. "Ethan, don't," someone whispered. "Relax," he said, grinning, just helping her lighten the load, and before anyone could move, the sound sliced through the room, a clean, cruel snip. 8 inches of carefully braided hair fell to the floor. For a heartbeat, no one breathed. Phones rose. Cameras clicked. Ethan held the braid high like a trophy. Finally. The room doesn't stink anymore. Maya stood up slowly. Her face showed nothing. Her eyes, though, steady, unreadable. She bent down, picked up her braid, and held it in her hands. "Why would you do that?" Ethan laughed. "Because watching you squirm is funny." Then he took the braid from her, walked to the trash can, and dropped it in. The door opened. Mrs. Davis walked in, late, coffee in hand. "Phones away. We're starting class." She didn't see the hair, didn't see Maya frozen beside the window, didn't hear the silent breaking happening inside her. Maya sat down again, opened her notebook, folded her hands, and breathed. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. No one in that room realized it yet, but they had just witnessed the calm before a storm that would change everything. By the next period, everyone knew. The video of Ethan cutting Maya's braid was everywhere, on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. In less than an hour, it had thousands of views. By lunchtime, the entire school buzzed with whispers and stares. When Maya walked into the cafeteria, every conversation stopped. Phones tilted in her direction. Some people smirked. Others looked ashamed. A few turned away. She didn't flinch. She carried her tray, found her usual spot in the back corner, and opened a book. Her braid was gone. The ends were uneven. But her posture was the same, straight, calm, unbothered on the outside. Across the room, Ethan sat surrounded by his crowd, retelling the story like a celebrity at a talk show. "You should have seen her face," he said, laughing. "She looked like she'd seen a ghost." Liam scrolled through comments. "Dude, this thing's blowing up." "People think it's hilarious," Ethan smirked. "Of course they do. It's just hair. She'll get over it. Not everyone agreed. Wyatt frowned. Some people say you went too far. Ethan shrugged. They're soft. Then he glanced toward Maya, still sitting alone, quietly eating. That calmness got under his skin. She was supposed to be crying, hiding, begging for attention, but she just sat there like none of it mattered. Watch this, he said. He grabbed his phone and stood up. His friends tried to stop him. Bro, leave it alone, Liam whispered. I'm just gonna talk, Ethan said. The cafeteria hushed as he walked across the room, camera already rolling. Maya looked up but didn't move. Hey Maya, he said. Got a second? No response. Come on, he continued, pretending to sound sincere. I want to apologize. That got her attention. She closed her book. You want to apologize? Yeah, Ethan said, smiling for the camera. We got off on the wrong foot. I thought maybe we could make peace. You do karate or something, right? A faint murmur rippled through the crowd. I wrestle, he went on. Been doing it for years. So how about this friendly sparring match after school? If you land one clean hit, I'll apologize to everyone, publicly. But if you can't, you admit you overreacted. The cafeteria went dead silent. Brock, that's not fair, someone called. I'm being fair, Ethan said, eyes locked on Maya. What do you say? Unless you're scared. Maya stared at him for a long moment. No expression, no fear, just stillness. Then she said, when? Friday, 4 o'clock. Jim, Ethan said, almost startled. She agreed. Fine, Maya replied. The cafeteria exploded. Voices shouted, phones lit up. Within minutes, hashtags were trending. Maya Sitan. Polls popped up online. 80% thought Ethan would crush her. Maya finished her lunch, stood up, and left the cafeteria quietly. But inside, something had shifted. The part of her she had buried, the fire her grandmother taught her to control, was waking again. That afternoon, both students sat in Vice Principal Nolan's office. His face looked tired, worn down by years of dealing with Ethan's arrogance. This isn't happening, Nolan said. We do not condone fighting. It's not a fight, Ethan argued. It's conflict resolution, educational. Maya's voice was calm. I agree to it, Nolan frowned. You understand he's twice your size? He's trained? I understand, she said. The vice principal sighed. Fine, 1 round. Coach supervises. Protective gear mandatory. First clean hit ends it. Signed agreement, parental consent, and school oversight. No exceptions. They both nodded. By evening, the agreement was official. The match was sanctioned. The post went live on the school's social media, and the countdown began. 3 days. 3 days for Ethan to train. 3 days for Maya to remember who she used to be. That night, Ethan watched fight videos and practiced his moves in the mirror, talking big with his friends. But somewhere across town, Maya stood in her aunt's basement, barefoot on a worn mat, breathing slow and steady. Her fists met the heavy bag again and again, measured, precise, patient. The rhythm of control had returned, and when the night grew quiet, she whispered to herself the words her grandmother once said. Real strength isn't what you show, it's what you hold back. Wednesday evening, the world outside Maya's window was quiet, but her mind was alive with noise. Every replay of the video, every comment calling her weak, every whisper in the hallway, it all burned inside her chest. But she didn't let it consume her. She turned that fire into movement. Downstairs, her aunt had cleared a small space in the basement. The old mat was still there, the one Maya hadn't stepped on since she moved. Dust clung to it, faint marks of the past visible like ghosts. She stretched, inhaled deeply, and began. Slow movements first. Breathing, stance, balance. Then faster. Sharper. The sound of her palms striking the bag echoed through the room. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Each strike was a memory. Her grandmother's voice. Her laughter. Her lessons. Power isn't anger. Power is control. Her phone buzzed on the bench, another message from a classmate. He's already bragging online. She ignored it. The next buzz said, people think you'll back out. She ignored that too. Later, her aunt came home from a late hospital shift and called down the stairs. Maya, it's almost midnight. I know, Maya answered, her voice calm but strong. Just a little longer. Her aunt walked down, leaned on the railing, and watched her. You don't have to do this, baby. You could walk away. Maya stopped mid-motion, hands still trembling with energy. If I walk away, he wins. Not just this fight, everyone after it. He'll do it to someone else. Her aunt's voice softened. And if you get hurt? Maya looked up, eyes steady. Then I get hurt standing up, not staying down. Her aunt's gaze fell on a box sitting in the corner, its lid half open. Inside glimmers of gold and red. She pulled one out, a medal. What's all this? Maya hesitated. Old stuff. Her aunt smiled faintly. 3 golds from the junior nationals? You call that old stuff? Maya sighed. That was before Grandma got sick. Before we moved. Her aunt ran a thumb over the engraved name. She'd be proud of you, you know. Would she? Maya whispered. I'm about to fight someone in front of the whole school. Her aunt set the medal down gently. You're not fighting to hurt someone. You're fighting to remind people what respect looks like. When her aunt went upstairs, Maya sat on the mat, sweaty and quiet. The medal glinted in the dim light. She touched it and whispered, I'll make you proud, Grandma. The next night, she called her old sensei. He answered almost immediately. Maya, I heard. Her breath caught. You did? Your aunt called me, he said. Wanted me to know you're training again. I didn't plan to, she admitted. But I have to finish something. The sensei was silent for a long time. Your grandmother used to say you had the patience of still water. And when that water moves, it moves with purpose. Maya swallowed hard. I miss her. I know, he said softly. But she's still with you, in your stance, your breathing, your restraint. Don't forget what she taught you. The goal isn't to destroy, it's to teach. After they hung up, she looked at the medals on her desk. For months, they'd stayed packed away, hidden like a secret part of herself. That night, she laid them out one by one. Friday was coming. The next morning, Ethan posted a new video. Shirtless in the gym. No hard feelings, he said into the camera. Just defending my title as the best. May the best one win. It got 15,000 views in 2 hours. Comments flooded in. Laughing emojis. Insults aimed at Maya. Endless predictions that she'd be flattened in seconds. Maya didn't post anything. She trained in silence. Her body remembered everything, every motion, every pivot, every controlled breath. She didn't need to prove her strength online. She'd show them in person. Friday morning came. The school felt electric. Students whispered in hallways. Teachers pretended not to listen. Bets were exchanged. Hashtags trended. By noon, the story had reached local gossip forums. Everyone wanted to see how it ended. But Maya wasn't thinking about them. She was thinking about her grandmother's final words before she passed. Grace, baby. Grace even when they don't deserve it. That's real strength. As she braided what was left of her hair that morning, her hands were steady. The mirror reflected someone she hadn't seen in months. Not just a quiet girl trying to blend in, but the fighter her grandmother had raised. The clock ticked toward 4. And while Ethan strutted through the halls, hyping up his crowd, Maya walked alone, calm, centered, ready. By the time she reached the gymnasium doors, the roar of hundreds of voices waited on the other side. The air inside the gym felt alive. Hundreds of voices, shuffling feet. The low hum of phones recording even before anything started. You could feel the heat of excitement mixed with tension, a kind of electricity that made every breath heavier. 4 rows of bleachers filled fast. Students pressed against the walls. Teachers stood near the exits pretending to supervise. The noise bounced off the walls, building until the gym itself seemed to tremble. Then the doors burst open and Ethan walked in like it was his grand entrance. His friends followed, loud and laughing, a portable speaker blasting music. The crowd cheered, some chanting his name. He smiled, shadowboxed a little, pretending to stretch. Every camera turned to him. He loved it. He needed it. Coach Raymond, the PE teacher assigned to supervise, stood near the taped-off area in the center of the floor. Music off, he said firmly. Ethan stopped, still smirking, but his heart was racing faster than he'd admit. Moments later, the doors opened again. The sound in the gym shifted instantly. Maya walked in. No music, no entourage, just quiet footsteps. The noise faded, as if everyone's lungs forgot how to breathe. She wore simple black training clothes. Her hair, shorter now, was tied neatly back. She didn't look at anyone. Every step she took seemed exact, perfectly measured, her back straight, her face unreadable. She reached the center, nodded at Coach Raymond. I'm here. You sure about this? He asked. Yes, sir. Ethan called across the floor, trying to sound confident. Glad you showed up. I thought you might change your mind. She didn't answer. She didn't even glance at him. She stretched slowly, fluidly, and something about the way she moved drew eyes. It wasn't showy, it was precise. Every motion carried quiet control. Coach Raymond brought them to the center. You both know the rules. 1 3-minute round. First confirmed clean hit ends it. Protective gear on. No face shots, no groin, no throat. Understand? Got it, Ethan said. Yes, sir, Maya replied. They took their positions. Headgear strapped. Gloves secured. The crowd leaned forward, phones raised. Coach raised his hand. Ready, 3, 2, 1. The whistle blew. Ethan charged. He moved like he was on a football field, all power and noise, no patience. His first swing was wild and fast. Maya stepped aside. Just 1 step. His punch cut through air. He tried again. Another miss. She barely seemed to move. A shift of the shoulder, a turn of the wrist, and his fist found nothing. Whispers spread through the crowd. She didn't even touch him. She's not even trying. Ethan gritted his teeth and threw a combo, jab, cross, hook. Each hit met emptiness.
Maya's movements were subtle, almost invisible, but they were perfect.
The crowd gasped when he missed again, swinging at nothing but air. 30 seconds in, Ethan was already breathing heavier. Maya's breathing hadn't changed at all. Calm, steady, 4 counts in. 4 counts out, he came again, faster, desperate now. A spinning back fist. She ducked under it, smooth as water. Still no counter, the whispers turned into awe. Wait, she's dodging everything. She's playing with him. Ethan heard it too, and it made his blood boil. He swung harder, faster, reckless. Sweat flew from his face. Maya didn't blink. She moved around him like the air itself refused to let him touch her. He lunged again, throwing his full weight forward. She leaned back just enough that his fist brushed the air in front of her nose. The crowd gasped. For a moment, it looked like time stopped. Then Maya spoke, voice calm and even. You're breathing too shallow. Slow down, the crowd exploded. Laughter, shock, disbelief. Ethan's face turned red. Shut up. He shouted, lunging again. She didn't hit him. She didn't need to. Every miss was a lesson. Coach Raymond watched closely. His expression had changed. He knew what he was seeing. These weren't lucky dodges. This was mastery. 2 minutes passed. Ethan's steps faltered. His chest heaved. His arms moved slower now, heavy with exhaustion. Maya's breathing was unchanged. The whistle blew. Round 1 over, Ethan stumbled back to his corner. His friends rushed over, trying to give advice that sounded more like panic. Dude, she's making you look bad. You gotta grab her or something. Ethan wiped sweat from his face. She's fast. I can't hit her. Across the gym, Maya knelt calmly, took a sip of water, and closed her eyes. Her chest rose and fell in perfect rhythm. She looked like she was meditating, not fighting. Students replayed clips on their phones. Every angle, every miss. Comments whispered through the bleachers. She's not even trying. Look at him, he's done. She's incredible. Coach Raymond looked between them. 30 seconds. Then round 2. The crowd held its breath. Ethan stood again, sweat dripping. Maya rose with quiet poise, adjusted her stance, and this time she shifted slightly forward, her weight balanced. Her eyes stayed locked on him. The whistle blew again. Ethan rushed forward, desperate to land something, anything. Maya sidestepped, guided his arm away with a soft touch, then another. The movements were small, almost gentle, but each one made him stumble off balance. Then she began to strike. Not hard, not violent, just light, deliberate touches. A tap on the shoulder, where a real hit could have crushed the collarbone. A quick touch to the ribs, just where breath disappears. Each movement precise, measured. The crowd grew silent. The realization hit them all at once. She wasn't just avoiding his hits. She was showing mercy. Every tap said the same thing. I could end this anytime I want. Ethan swung again. Slower now, losing control. Maya caught his wrist midair. Her grip was steady, gentle, unbreakable. He froze. For a moment, neither of them moved. The crowd went dead quiet. Every phone stayed lifted, recording the stillness. You're strong, she said softly. But strength without control is just chaos. He tried to pull free but couldn't. His breathing broke into ragged gasps. The sweat dripped down his face. Her eyes stayed calm. Do it, she said quietly. Throw another punch. Or stop, his arm trembled. Slowly he lowered it. His knees gave way and he sank to the floor. Not from pain, from realization. Coach Raymond blew the whistle. Match over. The gym remained silent. Everyone stared at Ethan on his knees and Maya standing tall, Still breathing steady, her hands relaxed at her sides. But she wasn't finished. She looked at him, her voice carrying through the still air. "Stand up." He looked up at her, dazed. "I can't." "Yes, you can," she said firmly. "Stand up." The crowd watched him struggle to his feet. He looked small now, stripped of arrogance, sweat-soaked and lost. "You cut my hair because you thought I wouldn't fight back," she said. "You thought being quiet meant being weak. You were wrong." Ethan didn't argue. His voice cracked. "I know." She took a slow breath. "I could have hurt you." "I didn't. That's the difference between strength and cruelty. Remember that." And for the first time, he did. The entire gym stayed silent, holding its breath as she stood there unbroken. The gym remained frozen, no sound except for Ethan's uneven breathing and the distant hum of phone cameras still recording. Then, from somewhere in the bleachers, someone began to clap. Just one person. The sound echoed sharp and clear. Then another joined, then another, until the noise grew into a wave of applause that filled every corner of the gym. But it wasn't for a fight. It wasn't for victory. It was for the truth they had all just witnessed. Maya didn't smile. She didn't bow. She just stood there, breathing steady, letting the weight of silence settle again. Coach Raymond stepped forward. "Winner, Maya Lewis." The words seemed too small for what everyone had seen. Ethan stayed on his feet now, head lowered. The arrogance that once covered him like armor had fallen away completely. He looked at Maya, eyes wet, words failing. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Maya's voice was calm but firm. "Then start showing it." The coach nodded toward the bleachers. "As per the agreement, Ethan, you have something to say." Ethan turned to face the crowd. 200 pairs of eyes stared back. The same students who'd laughed, bet against Maya, recorded everything. He cleared his throat, the microphone picking up his shaking voice. "I cut her hair," he said. "Not because it was funny. Not because it was about hair. I did it because I could. Because nobody ever stopped me. Teachers looked away. My friends laughed. And I thought quiet people didn't matter." He paused, swallowing hard. "I was wrong. No one spoke. Not even a whisper." He turned to Maya. "I didn't know what that braid meant to you. I didn't know it was from your grandmother. I didn't know anything about you. But I should have. I should have treated you like a person." Maya's eyes softened but didn't let him off easy. "You didn't need to know who I was to do the right thing. You just had to care enough not to be cruel." He nodded, unable to look away from her. Then she turned to the crowd. "You all watched," she said. "You filmed. Some of you laughed. Some of you said nothing. When no one speaks up, people like him think it's okay. But silence doesn't make you innocent. It just makes you part of the problem." The gym fell silent again. Even the air seemed to listen. "My grandmother taught me something before she died," Maya continued. "Real strength isn't in what you can destroy. It's in what you can protect. It's choosing grace when you have every reason not to." A few students in the crowd lowered their phones, guilt flickering across their faces. From the front row, a girl, Sophie, who had filmed the first video but never posted it, stood up. Her voice was shaky. "I should have said something. I saw what he was doing and I didn't. I'm sorry." Maya nodded. "Then say something next time." "That's how it changes." Coach Raymond looked at Ethan. "You know the rest, son. Suspension, missed games, essay. You'll write every word of it yourself." Ethan nodded slowly. "I will." When it was over, students filed out in silence, some wiping their eyes, others too stunned to speak. The noise that had filled the gym before was gone, replaced by something heavier. Awareness. Later, as Maya gathered her things, Ethan approached again. His voice was small. "What dojo do you train at?" Maya looked up, cautious. "Why?" "Because I think I need to learn what you already know," he said. "About control. About respect." She reached into her bag, pulled out a small card with her old sensei's name on it, and handed it to him. "Tell him Maya sent you." He took it carefully, like it was more valuable than any trophy. "Thank you for not destroying me. You can still decide who you want to be," she said. "Start now." That weekend, Ethan showed up at the dojo. He bowed clumsily. The sensei studied him for a long time, then simply said, "If you're here to learn control, start by cleaning the mats." Ethan nodded. He did it without complaint. Monday morning, the atmosphere at Ridgeway High was different. Hallways that had once been filled with snickers now filled with greetings. Students who never noticed Maya before stopped to say hello. Some smiled at her. Some gave small nods of respect. Ethan walked through the same hallways too, quieter than anyone had ever seen him. He no longer led the crowd. He carried his books, kept his head down, and when he passed Maya in the corridor, he lifted his hand in a small wave. She nodded back. 2 weeks later, the vice principal announced new anti-bullying protocols, student-led panels, anonymous reporting forms, discussions on respect and microaggressions. They called it the Maya Project, though she never asked them to. Maya started training again, not out of anger, but out of peace. Her movements felt different now, lighter, freer. She wasn't hiding anymore. One afternoon, while studying in the library, Ethan sat across from her. He waited until she looked up. "I've been going to class 3 times a week," he said quietly. "My sensei doesn't go easy on me." "I've been learning," she nodded. "Good. I wrote letters to everyone I've hurt. Some forgave me, some didn't, but I wrote them." "That's what matters," she said. He hesitated.
Do you think your grandmother would be proud of you?
Maya smiled faintly. "I think she'd tell me to keep going." When he left, she opened her phone and stared at an old photo. Her grandmother's arms around her at her first tournament, both smiling. She whispered, "I did what you taught me." For a moment, she swore she could feel her grandmother's warmth in the quiet room. The story didn't end in that gym. It rippled through every hallway, every classroom. Every student who watched one girl turn humiliation into strength, and one boy turn shame into change. And somewhere deep inside, the lesson stayed alive. Sometimes the strongest fight isn't the one you win with your fists, but the one you win by choosing not to strike at all. Spring came early that year, sunlight spilling through the halls of Ridgeway High as if the school itself was trying to wash away everything that had happened. The walls that once held gossip now held quiet glances of understanding. Students moved differently, spoke differently, and in the middle of it all, Maya walked through those halls not as the invisible girl in the back row, but as the one who had reminded everyone what dignity looked like when tested. Still, peace never came easy. Change always stirred resistance. A group of students whispered behind lockers, trying to revive old jokes, muttering that Ethan's apology was fake, that Maya had manipulated him for attention. The noise spread slowly like a shadow creeping along the floor. One afternoon she heard them. 3 juniors by the vending machines. "She just wanted clout," one of them said. "Got lucky, that's all." Maya turned, steady as ever. She didn't shout. She didn't glare. She just walked up and said, "Do you think respect is luck?" They froze. Her voice wasn't angry. It was calm, but it carried the weight of someone who had already survived worse storms. "If you think I fought for attention, you didn't learn anything from what happened," she said. "I fought because I was tired of silence, and silence protects people like Ethan used to be." No one answered. One of them muttered an apology. She nodded once and walked away. The whispering stopped. Outside, she sat under a maple tree near the sports field. The same tree her grandmother used to sit under during tournaments. The air smelled like grass and chalk dust, and for a moment she felt her pulse slow. Peace, not because the world had changed completely, but because she had. Later that week, she walked into the dojo again. Her old sensei smiled when he saw her. "You came back. I'm ready now," she said. "For what?" he asked. "For whatever comes next," he nodded. "Then start with breathing." She closed her eyes, found her rhythm, 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Her movements flowed again, light but certain. Her strikes weren't about anger anymore. They were about grace, about choosing balance over rage. In another corner of town, Ethan trained in silence too. The dojo's floor was clean from his work, and his hands were rough from hours of practice. Every movement hurt, every lesson humbled him. His sensei watched carefully. "You're learning respect," he said one day. "But do you understand why she forgave you?" Ethan hesitated. "Because she's stronger than me." "No," the sensei replied. "Because she wanted you to have a chance to become better. That's harder than fighting, harder than winning." That night, Ethan sat with his phone open. He typed a message and deleted it twice before sending it. "Thank you for teaching me what real strength is." Maya read it the next morning. She didn't reply, but she smiled. Weeks passed, and the noise around the story faded. People moved on, but something lingered like a soft current running beneath everyday life. Students started standing up when they saw cruelty. Teachers started noticing small things they used to ignore. Then came graduation day. The gym was full again, this time with families and applause that carried no tension. Maya sat with her class, tassel brushing her shoulder, eyes searching the crowd. Her aunt waved from the stands, tears in her eyes. When the principal called Maya's name for an award in excellence and character, the room stood. Not because she won a medal or a trophy, but because she had changed something bigger than grades or games. After the ceremony, Ethan approached her. His suit was slightly wrinkled, his hair shorter now, his expression humble. "I'm heading off next week," he said. "Starting over somewhere else." She nodded. "Good." He paused. "I just wanted to say, I'll keep learning. Not because I have to, because I want to." She smiled faintly. "That's what matters." They shook hands, and for the first time there was no tension in the air, just quiet respect. That evening, Maya drove to the edge of town where the hills met the horizon. The sky was streaked with pink and gold. She stepped out of the car, closed her eyes, and let the wind move through her short hair. In her mind, she could almost hear her grandmother's voice again. "Real strength is choosing peace when your heart wants war," she breathed, 4 counts in, 4 counts out, and whispered, "I understand now." Then softly she smiled. Because in that moment, she knew the story hadn't ended in a classroom or a gym. It ended here with her standing tall, free, and unbroken. And yet it wasn't really an ending at all. It was the beginning of a new kind of fight, the kind that never needed fists, only courage. The kind that lived quietly in every person who had watched her and learned that silence is not strength, and kindness is not weakness. The wind shifted, warm against her face, carrying something that felt like a blessing. And for the first time in a long time, Maya felt the world breathe with her.